Not even Kyle Lowry or your sister has a tighter end than the guy who, instead of continuing his NFL career, claimed an insurance policy and made $10 million. Today, my friends, we're talking about an often overlooked position. We are talking about the forgotten NFL tight ends. Now listen, let me make this clear. I would do the same exact thing. Jermichael Finley. If I had an opportunity to make $10 million from an insurance claim instead of having to play in the NFL again, especially after getting paralyzed, I would have done the same exact thing. But unfortunately, this move kind of helped float Jermichael Finley down the river of obscurity. Now, Jermichael Finley entered the NFL in 2008, being a third-round pick for the Green Bay Packers. Jermichael Finley was an athletic, versatile tight end who was a real strong pass catcher, which is, obviously you saw that in this 2008 time, but it was still kind of a newer thing. He still had a lot of blocking tight ends in this 2008 time. He showed actually flashes of brilliance, frankly, and people really thought he was going to be a Pro Bowl level player consistently for his entire career. He was really good at stretching the field as a pass catcher and really strong at exploiting mismatches. He played in total 70 regular season games, had over 200 career receptions, nearly 3,000 yards, and had 20 receiving touchdowns. In 2009, Finley broke out in his second year. He played in 13 games and posted up over 50 receptions, 676 yards, and 5 touchdowns. His postseason stats also included a 159-yard game against Arizona Cardinals in the playoffs. 2011, Finley had a career best of 767 yards and 8 touchdowns, and he actually helped the Packers go 15-1 that year. Jamichael Finley was a Super Bowl champion. He was part of the Packers that won that bowl during the 2010 season, even though he was sidelined due to injury during that time. Finley unfortunately did suffer a career-ending injury Week 7 of 2013. Finley suffered severe spinal cord contusion against the Cleveland Browns, and the injury would require surgery. And he did attempt to come back in the NFL, but was able to find a way to make money in a different way, let's just say. So even though he did have a career that was brief, as people would say, he really was kind of that template of a modern tight end coming into the NFL. Now, as stated multiple times on this channel, I am a sad, biased Commanders fan. So let's talk about a guy who screamed average Redskins tight end. And now the Redskins did have 2 notable tight ends during the mid-2000s and 2010s. And I'm talking about Chris Cooley and Jordan Reed. But who were some of those guys around Chris Cooley and Jordan Reed? Let's talk about it. We got Niles Paul, the 5th-round pick wide receiver converted to tight end. We have Fred Davis, the 2nd-round pick that, frankly, was kind of wasted because we had Chris Cooley. So I have no idea what the point of the Fred Davis 2nd-round pick was. But this is not about either of those guys. No, I am talking about Logan Paulson. Now, Logan Paulson was an undrafted player in 2010 and ended up signing with the Washington Redskins. He actually carved out a 10-year career being a blocking specialist, the Mercedes Lewis before the Mercedes Lewis. Now, of course, Mercedes Lewis is older than dirt, but let's keep it pushing. He occasionally contributed as a receiver, but really people saw him as an excellent run blocker, and he actually served as a dependable role player for a long time, for many years. Logan Paulson would appear in 130 career NFL games and logged 114 career receptions, over 1,000 career yards, 5 career touchdowns. His most notable season came in 2013 with Washington, where he posted 28 receptions, 267 yards, and 3 touchdowns, which was his actually most productive season as a pass catcher. But Logan Paulson would move on from the Redskins and join the San Francisco 49ers, where in 2017, he notably had a really good blocking year, and he helped really lead the way for the run game behind Carlos Hyde. Now, again, we talked about the blocking excellence, but also he contributed on special teams, continuing to show himself as a versatile player and I guess that team-first mentality, as some people would say. He was undrafted, so being able to stay in the NFL for over 10 years as an undrafted player is incredibly impressive, I will not lie. Now, after the 2020 season and his retirement, he actually went into sports media, providing analysis and commentary on stuff, and actually teaches people to do blocking techniques and other offensive schemes. His insight, they say, is less glamorous, but shows some of those hard-nosed styles of the NFL that needs to be shown, frankly. The legacy of Logan Paulson is an interesting topic and idea because he is one of those guys that, literally he appeared in more games than he caught a pass in, but he was such a reliable role player with his blocking that it really kept him in the NFL for over 10 years. And frankly, I think we need more blocking tight ends. Tight ends who you know are going to provide high-level blocking for passing, running, etc. Keep those quarterbacks safe. Keep those running backs from getting yards. Logan Paulson, you are something, Logan Paulson. And I always knew. I always knew Logan Paulson wasn't going to be the star tight end of the Redskins' future, but him and Niles Paul made a really fascinating bridge over from Chris Cooley to Jordan Reed. Now, finally, for our final tight end on the forgotten tight ends list, this guy is still actually active in the NFL now. Let's talk about a guy who won the tight end 2 or 3 spot on a loaded Patriots team in 2017. Now, who did he compete with? Obviously, Rob Gronkowski's tight end 1, but who was that 2 and 3 that Jacob Hollister was competing against? Jacob Hollister was competing against James O'Shaughnessy and Dwayne Allen, 2 guys who could have very easily made the list themselves, but frankly, I went with Jacob Hollister because I like his hair. Not only does he have nice hair, but Jacob Hollister is my go-to backup tight end in Madden. I don't know why. The dude's just always in free agency. He's always just available, and he always makes just a solid backup tight end for me. But Jacob Hollister. Now, Jacob Hollister came into the NFL as an undrafted free agent, but actually has really carved himself a role as a backup pass-catching oriented tight end. He's quick, he's got solid hands, and he's played for the Patriots, the Seahawks, the Jags, even the Raiders. He's so far played in 65 career games and has 83 catches, over 700 yards, and 7 receiving touchdowns. 2019, people would say, was Hollister's a little bit of a breakout season as he was able to notch 41 receptions, 349 yards, and 3 touchdowns. He became actually like a really reliable target for Russell Wilson, especially in clutch situations, and helped fill the void left by other injured tight ends during this time. He still had a solid 2020 campaign, but moved around the NFL a bit after this. You know, he's known as that reliable backup who has made a lot of different stops on different teams and is always ready to come in. He's a red zone target, a strong route runner, and you know, he was also able to show once again as an undrafted player that he could make a big impact in the NFL. Now, as of 2023 and into 2024, Jacob Hollister is still actually playing. So would you say, he can't be forgotten, he's still playing? I mean, I don't think people really remember Jacob Hollister, especially I don't think they remember Jacob Hollister on the Patriots. If anything, you know, competing against Dwayne Allen, who really probably could have made this list on his own. But like I said, my friends, if you guys remembered any of these tight ends, let me know which ones that you remembered. If you didn't remember any of them, or even just one of them, make sure you drop a like, drop a sub, drop a comment. I'm going to be moving into some different topics for some of these upcoming videos. As much as I love talking about forgotten NFL players, and I will talk about forgotten NFL players, I want to save some of these forgotten NFL player videos for like the offseason when, you know, it's kind of dry and we have nothing else to talk about. So I think I'm going to start moving into some more up-to-date modern topics in the NFL. And I have a really exciting one coming up, which is a little bit of a personal rant about how we don't give quarterbacks enough time. So make sure you stay tuned for that video, and I can't wait to show you guys that. I have a lot more videos coming out soon. Like I said, please give me feedback. Please talk to me. We did just start a Discord server for a discussion where me and my friend Origin CA, also an upcoming NFL YouTuber, kind of combined together just to make a fun little server where we talk about discussions, parlays, fantasy, etc. So make sure you join that. Thank you guys again for watching, and I will see you soon. I am the Gabe Sayers Believer.